What's going on, y'all? It's your boy E2 Blue coming back at you again, and we just left the Crystal City Sports Pub. Got Jobu here and Mark Holmes, and we're going to talk a little bit about this victory. It's a victory. It's still Sunday, so we're going to do a victory
Sunday.
It's Victory Sunday, baby. We had an early game, and Brett Maher kicked the game winner, and
Mueller. Oh, sorry.
there's a lot of people that were saying that they didn't want Brett Maher on here after he missed that first kick on the first game of the season. But you look at it like this. I knew that he was going to be good. I was mad that they got rid of Dan Bailey, because Dan Bailey has been our best franchise kicker ever, right?
Yeah, you know what? I posted a video from the Rams-Vikings game where Dan Bailey dunked one right into the – I mean, he hit the upright. It was a 35-yard field goal. And even when his extra points were kind of off. He's not the same guy. I don't know what happened to Dan Bailey, but Dan Bailey – we actually, you know, that's one of those moves that people were mad about and thinking we should have saved. But, you know, you're saving $3 million. And I got to tell you, our kicker, 4 of 4 today.
I think the Cowboys were looking more for the future. And I think they were looking at, okay, if we're going to have somebody that's going to kick us for the future, we know that Dan Bailey has been struggling. He hasn't been up to snuff. You know, this league is about what have you done for me lately. And lately,
what have you done for me lately?
You know, so because of that reason, they were like, you know what, let's go ahead and cut our losses. We got this young guy. He's better. He's producing, and they're looking for the future. Brett Maher, the Canadian kicker, after that first one, I was like, look, he had to get them jitters out of the way. You know, that was his first NFL kick, and look, he kicked the game winner today. I can't be mad at that. Now, going further, thoughts about the game. What was your highlight and what is your low point?
Low point is
meaning
safety.
Like, what do we need?
I'm sorry. This goes back to, you know, we saw Calais Campbell, you know, on the screen there. We were talking about Calais and stuff. And remember what I said? Calais Campbell was a guy that I said, man, that's a difference maker on our team. The reason why I was talking about Earl Thomas was because Earl Thomas is a playmaker, a difference maker on the team. Those 2 picks that he got last week against us changed that game. Flat out. That was a difference maker. And I dare say the Michael Gallup fumble, you know, or whatever you want to call it. I mean, they call it an interception, but really, he muffed the catch.
Yeah.
That changed the momentum of the game. That got the crowd into it and everything else. And that's a playmaker. And Jeff Heath, early on in the game, I remember saying, man, that was a great tackle, because he got a tackle for a loss. After that, it seemed like shit just went south. Excuse my language. I don't mean to say it.
No, that's fine.
But he started getting back to Jeff Heath where he failed math class. His angles were terrible. Some of his tackles weren't real good. So that's still a concern with me, because you had Xavier Woods and you got your man Kevon Frazier. But there's not much there, and I'm still concerned. I think that's going to be the Achilles heel of this team. Jalen Smith, great play at linebacker. Vander Esch quietly. You don't realize how many tackles. I got to see how many tackles he has, because he's got to be close to 30 tackles right now.
I mean, because he had 11 last game, and I got to go.
He was at 21
I got to go
going
look
into
at the
this
box stats.
Yeah, we haven't had a chance to look into the stats or anything else. We literally drove from Crystal City Restaurant, and I apologize for everybody who watched the live stream. You know, it's not the same as being here at the Man Cave. One way or the other, if I have to go ahead and get direct TV, I will never do that again. It's just too difficult.
I mean, it's cool to be at the bar sometimes because you get the fan base of other people, but their Wi-Fi there just really sucks. And you know what I mean?
Well,
and it's not nothing that you can do about that.
What we need to do is bring
the bar
here.
Home.
Okay,
right. Gotcha.
And actually, we had a plan because John was coming over. He was bringing a friend. You were bringing a friend. Clarence was coming over. My cousin Daniel was coming. We were going to have a full house here, and that's what's going to be fun as we go through forward the season and stuff. And we didn't have Michael Anthony at the bar either, which was missed as well.
And Michael Anthony is here. You want to say something, Mike?
Odell Beckham is hurt.
Odell's hurt?
Is it?
Yeah, he is. He went to the locker room.
Update.
Oh.
Michael Anthony Fitness says that Odell Beckham just got hurt.
Well, he's getting an IV or something.
What I tell you about any given Sunday? But we'll get into that. But
he says he's getting an IV.
He's getting an IV.
He may be having cramps.
He's having cramps.
He's got cramps. It might be that time of the month.
Shout out to the stinking Giant fan, Rasheed Peebles. Get out of here. Anyway,
but that stood out to me as the biggest thing that I worried going forward is safety. But you can best believe Chris Richard is going into somebody's ass.
Let me tell you something. And I'm glad you mentioned that. Chris Richard, when you see him on the sideline getting into these guys and telling them, hey, you need to shape up, you need to get out there, you need to tackle better, don't bust coverages. And we lack that. Before he got here, no coach on the team was doing that. What happened when Randy Gregory did that crap last week?
Well, we saw Jason
right past,
but
right past
we didn't see what Chris Richard may have said to him.
I know Chris Richard said something.
Although Chris Richard is passing game coordinator, that might have been Rod Martinelli. But
either way,
but regardless, Jason Garrett as the coach. Can you imagine what Bill Parcells would have done?
Man, he would have put him in the locker room. He'd have been like, go in the locker room, change into your street clothes, and you wait in there until we're done the game. That's what Bill Parcells would have done.
Right.
And that's what we're lacking on this team, is that discipline. You know what I mean? Like, I get Jason Garrett's philosophy, but it's more than just talk. You got to get in these guys' head, and you got to let them know that, like, when you mess up, bro, I was like, we're going to encourage you. We're going to make sure that you get what you get. And I love the nurturing that Chris Richard does, and I also love the fact that he gets in your ass when you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Blown coverages, missed assignments, etc. It's not acceptable. And what you got to do.
But on the flip side, though, just remember, he's not just, I'm going to yell and cuss you out. Because you remember with your boy.
That's what I said. That's what I said. He nurtures. He nurtures.
That's right. Yeah. On the other side of the fence, you got to love the fact that the difference between this week and last week, one is we pushed the ball downfield. Two, we didn't have mistakes. We didn't have stepping out of bounds and getting back in. We didn't have, passes that were tipped in the hands and turned into interceptions. And we pushed the ball downfield, okay? They challenged people, and that opened up a lot. And our offensive line definitely played a lot better.
Oh, and that, I'm going to say two things about the whole Joe Looney thing, too, since we're talking about the offensive line. Because he played a damn good game.
Yeah.
And what you guys don't know is a lot of people don't pay attention to the offensive line. But when you've played football like him and I, like you kind of pay attention to certain things in the background as well. That touchdown that Zeke had, the one where he lunged in.
He was downfield with him.
Yeah. He was down. Joe Looney was in front of him. Joe Looney was, and the camera panned to Joe Looney when he got back to the sideline. He was just sitting there like this. He was gassed. I mean, it looked like Travis Frederick out there. It was a Travis Frederick move. And I'm telling you, like, I'm loving the fact that this team, even though they've been losing and they haven't been doing well, and the offense haven't been producing, they're still working together to try to get things together.
Yeah.
And my hope is that Linehan learns from his mistakes, and going forward, keep this playbook open and don't regress back to the BS that he was doing before, because if we go back to that, then it's going to be the narrative of we win this week, we lose this week, we win this week, and we lose this week. That ends up being 8-8, and you don't want to be 8-8.
Well, that's the bad thing about this victory is it just saves
You don't know. It saved jobs, but now going forward, it's like you can't be too excited about the victory, because it's like, what's going to happen next week against the Texans? Are we going to do like we did with the Giants and this game, or we're going to falter like we did with Carolina and Seattle?
Well, here's where it gets interesting, because the Eagles lost to the Titans. And that's huge because, they're not running away with it. They are beat up on top of it. Their team, this is where I got a lot of hate when I said it's hard to repeat, and they may repeat.
Yeah.
But you start looking and knowing that Jay Ajayi has got, a fracture in his back. You look at some of the other players that they're losing on that team, and things aren't coming quite as easy. The fact that they're 2-2, we're talking about a team that only lost 3 last year. They're getting a lot of penalties. They've already had 35 accepted penalties in 4 games.
Yeah.
And here's where it gets crazy, because when you start looking at their schedule, okay, they lost to the Titans. I'm not sold the Titans being a great team.
No.
Okay. But they have the Vikings, they have the Giants, they have the Panthers, the Jaguars, and then us. That's not that's pretty tough. I mean, you don't know. I mean, the division games, believe it or not, the Giants' best games last year were against the Eagles.
Yeah.
They actually scored one of those games.
They played pretty good against the Eagles. Again,
so, yeah, that's
because you know the teams in your division very well. And, it's never like I'm going to blow out this team unless they just had, like you said, a rash of injuries or things of that nature.
Now you're playing the Vikings, which have been disappointing thus far, but the the Vikings have already had 4 days.
The Vikings are up and down as well.
Yeah, but they've got 4 days rest on you now.
Yeah.
So, they've got time to go ahead and coach against you and things. So it's going to be a tough road for them. It's a tough road for the Giants. The Giants right now are losing 9-7, and the Saints are about to score another touchdown.
And the Redskins have a bye, so
they
have that time to rest. So they come back and they play the Saints next week.
Yeah, but the Saints, I think the Saints are getting back to where they were. Right now, their offense is beginning to hit home. So for all those people who said the season is over, it's done, you don't know. Football is a crazy thing.
It is.
Every week, it's literally a week-to-week league because, everybody's going to talk about Dak Prescott sucked, Still didn't get 300 yards, but he got 2 touchdowns, no turnovers, 255 yards against the same team that last week only gave up 133 to Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And I know what you guys are going to do. You're going to twist it and say, now he's saying he's Tom Brady. No, I'm not saying that. But if Tom Brady could only get 133 yards against this Lion team, the fact that this team got almost 400 yards in offense when they looked about as bad can be. And I'm not satisfied. I want to see them doing better. I want to see them doing more of what they have right here. But remember what I always tell you guys. It's really the first 4 games of the season. Don't get too excited and don't get too mad about what you see because the real teams don't really start showing up until October. You don't really know what you have. You had Tampa Bay looking as Tampa Bay was like, break those dudes up the first 2 weeks.
Man, Fitzmagic
everybody's like,
Fitzmania out here. Man.
Yeah.
Now it's Baker Mania.
Right, exactly. So, and they lose, 45-10 against the Bears. And now you get the Bears looking pretty good. So it's literally a week-to-week league. You don't know.
This year's been really crazy with the scoring. I mean, quarterbacks this year have been, I don't remember a season where I've seen so many weeks where multiple quarterbacks have gotten more than 3 touchdowns, 4 or 5 touchdowns a game.
It's been crazy.
You got players getting 3, 4 touchdowns, like wide receivers get. I mean, individual stats are just ridiculous right now, and like it's starting to get like college. And I don't know if it's because of the rule changes that we have going on or what, but either way, going forward though, like I said, if we can keep this open playbook thing that we have, and Linehan opens his eyes up and like, look, I really want to stay the offensive coordinator of this team, and I don't want to be fired. And out on the street. I want to make sure that I want to get my quarterback the plays that make him play the best. And you got to understand that Dak is good with the RPO. That is his thing. He is a mobile quarterback, and you need these things to make him win. Play action, bootlegs, play fakes.
One of the
play
biggest plays
fakes all
was
day.
actually a bootleg there that they had.
Yes. And that deep pass to Zeke, they didn't even do that in 2016. Again, do things that you haven't done before because it's a lot. Everybody knows that the Cowboys are conservative. They know that they're going to do these 3 to 5 things, and that's it. You go out here and you bust a team wide open because you're doing stuff that maybe normal to other teams, but it's not to the Cowboys. You're gonna fool them, and it's gonna be positive every time because they're not gonna see it coming because they didn't game plan for that. So, like I said, there's always ways for the Cowboys to get the upper hand on the team, no matter how better physically they are than the team. Because I'm telling you, somebody can be bigger, faster, stronger than you, but if you're smarter and you're more wittier than that person or that team, you can beat them. And that it goes back to the whole David versus Goliath thing.
Amen. You know what? If the Cowboys didn't win today, it was going to be ugly. I mean, it was already getting ugly. I'm just happy. Even if the rest of the season stinks, I'm just happy that for this week, maybe things will calm down. And I think it's going to be a little bit quieter this week with the Trolls.
It is.
The Eagles will hopefully calm down a little bit.
But they're going to still say Dak sucks because,
you know what?
they just want to hear it. And I realize now that I got to do a better job as a YouTuber, not getting upset at these people and just let it go. Because
you know what? Sometimes,
you guys
sometimes some of you guys need a foot in your ass. You know, it's kind of like when I grew up, see, back in the day, my dad could give me a look that I knew I need to shut up. I need to go around the house because literally my dad, when his lips disappeared because he has goatee and mustache, you don't see lips, you want to go.
Right.
And some of you guys, because see, my dad only beat me one time, but
that's all you needed.
But you know,
that's all you needed.
And some of you guys just need to be beat. Okay, I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I've only hit Michael one time. when he swelled up to me.
Probably should have got more than that.
I was like,
matter of fact, what Michael at?
Like what?
He passed due for one now.
And I know he's biding his time now because yesterday he gave me that look when I was trying. He gave me that look like, you know what? He was thinking one of these days, Dad, I'm gonna get you. But you gotta understand, I got daddy strings on my side.
Yeah.
Daddy string. That'll carry you a long way.
Respect your elders. Always respect your elders. But what we were talking about with what were you saying right before that? When I was saying when you cut me off?
I don't know. I just talked so much stuff. I don't know.
I lost my train of
like,
thought because I had something key that I was gonna say, but I completely lost it. But either way, I know you guys are happy about the victory. I'm happy as well. But again, going forward, I'm still a little worried about what we're gonna do. Oh yeah, I was talking about the trolls, and I got to do a better job as a YouTuber. You guys know that I'm a passionate individual. I love my Dallas Cowboys, and when I speak from the heart, and I speak from a real place because y'all already know E2 Blue keep it real. That's all I know, y'all. And you know, for what it's worth, I appreciate all of you, the feedback that I get from you guys because it helps. And you know, like I said, we do this because this is what we love to do, and we want to give you quality content and just a little more of our personal lives because again, when you see these analysts on TV, it's all an act. You know what I mean? Like they're paid to say certain things and a lot of it is not even their opinion. See, with us, you get the raw. And you guys, I brought you guys in my world. I did a video right after I came from my depression counseling session. And I told you guys that. I mean, that's personal. You know what I mean? Like, that's big. And yes, I'm dealing with some depression right now, but see, I'm getting help for it. And one thing,
his help was the Cowboys getting the victory.
Exactly, all that helps. But at the end of the day, you got to stay positive, man. And all the hate that we have in this world, man, it's not needed, yo. It's really not. And
so much hate.
And I'm gonna stand on the soapbox all day about it. I mean, you can like it or not, but that's what it is.
Amen.
And thank God for the win. Let's hope that the Giants lose to the Saints today.
They're down 13-7.
Eagles lost, so that means that moves us to second place right now.
Behind the
behind the Redskins. So the Redskins.
That just don't even sound right. Redskins leading.
You know what? I'm gonna say this right now. I'm gonna be a Saints fan 2 weeks in a row because when the Redskins come back and they play the Saints next week, I'm gonna definitely root for the Saints to get that victory.
Now you know I'm not a two-timer. You know,
you're not a two-timer. I'm not a team. I'm gonna be a two-timer for once in my life.
But I gotta tell you though, New Orleans is a nice place.
It is. I've never been.
Oh no,
I've never been, but I need to go. I need to go.
Me and Michael went there 2013 or 2014 for that game, and we had a ball, except for the game because they kicked the shit out of our ass. But the people in New Orleans, that is actually the best place to have a Super Bowl. The food. Every time I go to New Orleans,
I heard that the food there is great, but they don't like vegetables down there. Like you try to order food with vegetables. It's like they'll give you like a piece of asparagus, but it'd be doused in like something fattening. It's like this ain't.
Listen, man, you don't go.
You don't go there to eat healthy. I know. You don't go.
The gumbo.
Yeah.
The shrimp poor boys, the oyster poor boys. Oh my God!
Shout out to all the subscribers from Louisiana.
The charbroiled oyster. I don't like raw oysters. I'll be the first to tell you that. But they take oysters and they put butter, garlic butter on it.
Oh God!
With Parmesan cheese, and then they grill it in half.
I'm surprised people down there don't have heart attacks more often.
They probably do. They just
don't say it. They just be like, "Oh, you have a heart attack? Just throw them in the closet."
What it is it's all the alcohol that they have down there. Because that's the only place that I've ever seen.
It kills it.
A drive-through daiquiri's place.
They have a drive-through daiquiri spot.
Drive-through daiquiri.
Shout out to the drive-through daiquiri spot.
Literally, everybody's pickled. So all the grease doesn't have a chance.
Yeah, I gotta go to Louisiana. Louisiana is on my bucket list. Las Vegas. Matter of fact, next year my fraternity's conference is in Las Vegas, and I'm definitely trying to go to Vegas next year.
When the Raiders and the Cowboys play in Vegas, that's where the NFL is genius because that's
gonna be like probably 2021 because I don't think that we're going to play the Raiders 2020.
Well, they got to get the stadium built.
I know, but they said by 2020, so you got 2 years. So.
But that'll be a game to get to. But I'm telling you, New Orleans is a great place to go for a game and stuff. It's a hard place to play. That stadium is old and rickety.
That Mercedes, what's it? Mercedes-Benz. Mm-hmm. It's a curse for teams that are visiting because you remember last time we were there, Lance Dunbar.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, that when he tore all that up when his leg bent back on the punt return.
Sean Lee tore his hamstring there, but we're having.
Well, I mean, Sean Lee tears his hamstring at every stadium. At home, away, he tears it at home. He like Darren McFadden last year when he dropped the phone and
yeah,
just freak incidents like that. So, but that's all I got for you right now. We're actually gonna live stream on Mark's channel.
I said I'm gonna go cook some real chicken wings after those ones from Crystal City Restaurant.
Yeah, because those chicken wings were not. They weren't up to snuff. And if you guys see me, you saw how slow I was eating them. I eat slow anyway.
I ate them. I was like,
but I was just
I paid for them.
I paid $18 for this.
I'm sitting there thinking about what I spent for chicken wings and a couple of drinks, half a box of chicken wings. That was 20 pounds of chicken wings. I could have.
Right, you could have just.
I could have literally cooked.
Well, that's not going to happen again. From now on, we're gonna, do it here. But I still support DC Fan Club. Shout out to Kelly Collins.
Thank you for my crying towel. Hopefully, it won't get too much use. But that's my quarterback.
But like I said, if we continue doing what we did today, and we do more of that, and we refine what Dak does, because again, we know that Dak needs help. We know that Dak has things that he needs to work on. But throwing that deep ball, I'm proud of what he did today because he did put the ball in the right place. I'm glad that Tavon Austin is not.
He came back in the game.
Yeah, he came back, and I'm glad that he's not injured.
But he was back in the game.
Well, I mean,
I thought for sure that elbow was broke because he landed.
Yeah, the way
I was like, oh,
I think you know how like when you hit your funny bone, but it don't be funny. I think what happened. No, seriously, you ever hit your elbow really hard and your whole arm gets numb? That's probably what I guarantee you. That's what happened when he landed on that elbow. I think all this went numb. And it hurts because I've done it before. So I did it tackling somebody myself. So I mean, it is what it is. But
and when you get my age, you do that just walking to the bathroom, you run into shit.
Or you drop your phone in the pool. I'm sorry, Derek.
Three times last night.
Fumble.
There you go. All right, man. Thanks for having me on the show here.
Oh, no problem, man.
This is what I actually envisioned. I can't wait for a night game to be sitting out here now. The weather is cooling down with the fire. And we got to grab a cigar too.
Hey, but my deck is nice too at my house. We need to get a nice little live stream of my house on my deck too. Only difference with my house and his house, see, he got a nice little koi pond here. He's got the fire pit. I need to get my fire pit, but once I get my fire pit, and he has a TV, I'll never have a TV outside because I don't. Well, actually, I do have an under the deck like this. I could probably do it, but
yeah.
And check with the.
That's the next thing I want to do is do the ceiling under the deck here, so that way, even when it's raining, I can sit out up.
But I like it here because it's real serene. You guys have seen Mark on his channel over by his koi pond out here, and he killed his fishes last week. But
had to remind me.
But
the Cowboys got to win. That's all that matters.
And that's it. But. Check out his live stream. We're going to be doing that in a minute after he cooks up some chicken wings. So
gotta have some.
Gotta have Sunday chicken wings.
Victory wings.
To watch the rest of Sunday because football ain't over. But Cowboys victory. How about them Cowboys? This is your boy E2 Blue. Always keeping it real. Signing off. I'll talk to y'all soon.
Cool.